As you know, we're here for the soapbox competition, which is being run in conjunction with Europedirect, the Library Councils and ourselves, Louth County Libraries. You're all participating this evening. You're going to talk on the topic of wind energy, like it or loathe it, and it's up to yourself to put forward your case.
To highlight the importance that the European Union places on climate change, that's why we're here this evening. Wind energy, the future or a blot on the landscape. That's the title of the Soapbox Challenge, and we have 14 or 15 contestants here this evening. Allow me please to introduce our three very important people this evening, the three judges. On my right, Dr. Daniel O'Brien, Head of Electronic and Mechanical Engineering at DKIT. Next to him is Jude Torley, who is the co-founder of Kinetic, a sustainable energy company. And next to him on the far right is Tom Cosgrove, another co-founder of Kinetic Sustainable Energy Company. The lovely lady on my left is Mona, and she has a very important task tonight. She will ring the bell at 3 minutes, and at 3 minutes, ladies and gents, you stop. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite our first contestant this evening, Francis O'Toole.
Wind energy, the future. I believe wind energy is an outstanding achievement, not just in our lifetime, but in the course of human history. I say this because wind energy has the potential to impact on every individual, not only here in our country, but right across the world. If we are to look to history for our experience and to learn from mistakes, we only have to look to carbon energy and to see that it has been a major driving force in many developments.
Barack Obama has said, over the last decades, our very survival depends on new sources of energy. Our very survival. Have I got your attention now? Oil and gas reserves are going to run out within the next 60 years.
A perfect example of this is our own wind turbine here in Dundalk. The 850 kilowatt turbine has paid for itself for 5 years, and in doing so it saves 900 tonnes of CO2 emissions every year. The critics of wind energy say that these wind turbines will destroy our beautiful landscapes that we have here in our country. In my opinion, a couple of wind farms here and there through the country would give off an eco-friendly image to the world.
According to the Central Statistics Office, there are almost 1.5 million private households in Ireland, and Sustainable Energy Ireland's 2008 report, Energy in the Residential Sector, states that we produce enough wind energy to provide for the electricity needs of over half of these houses. But are half of the households in Ireland using wind energy? No. We need to ask ourselves, why not?
Renewable generation makes up 15% of Ireland's generation portfolio with a target of 40% by 2020. Typically, it's thought this means 40% wind, but that's not true. Currently, the renewable portfolio includes various hydro plants such as Ardna Crusher and pump storage at Turlock Hill, and has potential for many other sources. Currently, though, wind power is the main sustainable energy source. There's a stark contrast between the main thermal generator and the main renewable, wind power. Both have
It's something that I believe should be on every school campus, never mind the one in Dundalk. Dundalk, as we all know, the DKIT were the first in the world to have a wind turbine on its own campus. And it's marvellous to see the success it has been. We were told when we visited first that it would be paid back within 8 years. It was supposed to take 12 years. Now that's a mark of the actual cost of payback. In other words, from 2 years in 2 years' time, there is profit to be made from the wind turbine.
Far from being a blot on the landscape, wind farms will prove to be the solution to our energy problems. The energy in wind is captured and converted to provide electricity. It is clean, it is sustainable, it is an alternative to fossil fuels without the direct emission of greenhouse gases. It is inexhaustible, it is renewable, it is the future. Wind energy is worth all the cost and hassle because it not only provides electricity, it is also very good for the environment.
Now we are catching up with Holland and the rest of Europe. Everywhere you go in Ireland, in different spots, you can see turbines. None more so than here in Dundalk, where we have our own marvellous landmark, I think, showing the way to our college, DKIT, and as one lady already said, the way back home from the south. We've actually only lived here with in a few generations with intensive use of oil, coal and gas. But in that short time, we've seen the large effect that it had. That dependence on a very intensive energy source is not sustainable.
Now imagine a world where the green hills are dotted with majestic wind turbines. Which would you prefer? The dystopian grey of a ravaged planet, or the utopian green of a pollutant-free Earth? In August 2005, Dundalk IT installed the world's first large commercial turbine to be located on college campus. It has proven to be very successful, as it currently generates approximately half of Dundalk IT's electricity needs and will have paid for itself in less than 2 years' time.
Indeed, I feel that in the developed world, we appear to be on a runaway train fed by digital noise, whose principal purpose is the production of worthless junk, resulting in an endless crisscross of distribution, a tyranny of noise rather than climate justice or sustainable future.
We're not prepared for it right now. And this is why I feel we have to act now. We have to put more energy and more time and more emphasis on wind energy before it's too late. First of all, a brief note on all the benefits of wind energy. It's clean, it's efficient, no carbon emissions, and it's unlimited. What a beautiful word, unlimited. You'll never run out of air unless something drastic and dramatic happens.
Theoretically, if all the wind power available to mankind was harnessed, there could be 10 times the amount of energy we use now readily available. It is also ample, it's renewable, it can be widely distributed, and the main advantage is it's very cheap. Wind energy is the cheapest form of renewable energy. A wise man once said, energy independence is the lifeline of great nations. So in these tough recessionary times, shouldn't we all be embracing this clean and highly affordable energy source?
I would argue here this evening that wind energy is not the future, but in fact it will be a blot on our landscape if developed further. Wind energy has been a significant step forward in technology, harnessing the plentiful natural resource that is the wind. However, I strongly believe that realistically, wind energy does not have the capabilities to provide energy in a scale large enough to solve our problems and comply with the EU's expectations for our country. As a result of research in this area as a student of landscape architecture in UCD over the last 4 years, I have come across numerous negative impacts posed by wind energy.
The 2009 Airgrid Generation Adequacy Report forecast that for the year 2010, Ireland would need 29,206 gigawatt hours of electricity. Now, if we take the largest available commercial wind turbine, it would take 3,500 of those to generate that amount of electricity. So it could be done. However, given that electricity cannot be stored, we would have all sorts of issues. In low wind speed, we would have shortages, and in high wind speeds, we would have surpluses, and we're into networks and grids and trying to export it and import it. The basic fact is that wind energy, taken on its own, is not a long-term solution to Ireland's electricity demands.
To announce that in third place this evening, Neve. The second place is Tom. Is the only person this evening whose name I couldn't pronounce. It is Si.